From my yesterday video, I gave an example of what Bitcoin would do, specifically hitting the daily 10 EMA if my main idea were wrong. So I gave two scenarios, and the one that I didn't favor did play out, and it's playing out almost to the T right now. However, the way it got there, in specific regard to its with the S&P 500 and NASDAQ, the way it got there was interesting, and it's going to change my analysis a little bit. And I'm going to show you what that is by the end of this segment of the live show or the recording of this video. But the hint of what I'm going to get at by the end of this video is Bitcoin is in a 34-day, roughly continuous uptrend versus the stock market. And the general implications of that is that if the stock market squeaks out non-aggressive lower lows or does just, it looks bearish but goes sideways, that means crypto can keep going up as long as that secret chart that I made. So I made a chart that shows Bitcoin's power versus the stock market. As long as that maintains an uptrend and the stock market doesn't make aggressive new local lows, crypto can keep creeping up. And it really could. And so I'm going to show you some examples of what that might look like on price, and then we'll move on to Ethereum. So let's go get this Bitcoin. All right. In my yesterday's video, I almost drew this out almost exactly. I think the first pump I had it come up to the daily 10 EMA, then come down, but here it was the second try, but whatever. Pretty close stuff. So I don't think there are any surprises there. But here is what I wanted to show you. The implications of what I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show you the what first, and then I'll do the why. The what is, it looks like Bitcoin has an increased chance now to hold above this box here, which is a monthly box. There are two monthly wicks previous to this month that come here. It looks like it has a strong chance of holding this, or if I take it off and zoom out, Bitcoin has a strong chance of holding onto or staying above that middle orange and black box, which is the point of control of what I call a micro range, which is now about 57 days young. All right, so it's a micro range. Anything under like 90 days is a micro range. And so that's the what. It has a better, so I'm not guaranteeing, and I don't even know if it's my favorite scenario yet. I simply want you to be aware that I generally am bearish. I think prices will go lower. But when I show you the why, it'll come full circle. But it looks like Bitcoin could go sideways and keep trying up a little bit through next Tuesday or Wednesday. And because not only did this happen, which I forecasted yesterday, which I said, hey, that starts increasing the chance that Bitcoin holds on until next week. So I covered that already. But something I didn't include in the analysis is if Bitcoin starts outperforming the market and this happens, that means it could be even a little bit better than just holding on. It really could. I don't think necessarily a big bull run, or, big bull trap up to 22K, but it starts having some of those initial ingredients for that. And again, I'm not thinking 22K, bull trap is most probable I don't even know if it'd be in my top 3 right now. However, the ingredients are starting to formulate, and you need to stay aware of that. So in general, over the next 10 days, I think Bitcoin is going to, be in the low 18,000s or lower. All right, so new local lows, just generally kind of bearish. But I'm going to show you some things in the chart to watch out for. So check this out. The chart that I just kind of mathematically and with a quick form, it's a non-complex formula. It shows Bitcoin's performance versus the stock market. And you can see here that since, a long time ago, it's been in a general downtrend. So let's say since here. For 145 days. So this is from this point of May of this year, 2022, to roughly, nowish or August last month. It was in a fairly compelling downtrend. It was able to gain an uptrend in this area. Let's zoom into that and see how long that was. So it got into an uptrend for 17 days, but now it's, double that time. It's in a general uptrend, and it's breaking above a horizontal with even though it's not necessarily volume because no one's buying this isn't an asset, but it's getting through with some gusto. So it looks like it could, and so what this means is if the S&P 500 inches down, so nothing aggressive, right? Nothing like a 4% red day. So if the S&P 500 has a really red day and this chart keeps going up, Bitcoin still will probably have a red daily candle with this chart going up. Does that make sense? So this is just relative or versus the stock market. So if the stock market's really far down and this is just in a normal uptrend, Bitcoin will have a red day, but it'll go down a lot less than the stock market. So this isn't to say if this is an uptrend, Bitcoin keeps going up. Not necessarily. Right? But it does mean if this goes up while Bitcoin has a red day, the next time the stock market takes a breather up for a correction to the upside before the bears take it back down again, that means Bitcoin's correction to the upside could be really big. I mean, the power versus the stock market it's pretty important here because if for example, let me show you the significance of this. So let's go to S&P 500. And again, Bitcoin follows the S&P 500. The correlation ebbs and flows, but in general, it's a very strong correlation. Now, if the US 500, let me go to a smaller chart like the hourly. If it just, in general, were to inch down, here, let me zoom in even more. Because it's going to hit this blue line at some point, right? Probably within, very likely within the next 30 days. But if it inches down, baby bounce, and then takes a swoop under it and then baby bounce, well, if the S&P 500 does that and that chart that I just showed you is still going up, right? That means Bitcoin could be going sideways and building a base during this whole time here as the S&P unaggressively goes down. And then when the S&P 500 has a baby bounce or a dead cat bounce up, Bitcoin's bounce could be really big, like probably $2,000 to $5,000. Am I making sense there? But if the S&P 500 has these baby bounces as that other chart that I showed you is going down, well, then Bitcoin's correction to the upside would be very minimal. But right now, Bitcoin's in position to essentially form a base and hold on if the stock market can just inch down instead of a massive sell-off. Bitcoin could get some work done. So it's going to be interesting over the next, really, a couple weeks. If there's not a large sell-off, and let's say by the end of next week, if the stock market doesn't have an aggressive sell-off and that magic chart, Bitcoin versus the stock market, continues its uptrend, I think a larger bull trap up to 22, 23K, maybe slightly higher, would probably inch up into my top three, most likely scenarios. But I don't think my trigger for putting that within my top three scenarios, I think I need to see all of next week develop. I don't think it can pop into it before then, unless of course shit just flies up. Well, then it becomes obvious. Shit, this is going higher, right? Unless that happens. So keep an eye out on that because I'm generally pretty bearish, and a lot of people follow my channel. They try to do click around based off of it, and I don't want I don't want my bias of bearishness to, I guess, guide you incorrectly, right? So I'm giving you a forewarning. There is something brewing in the charts where I could be totally wrong here, and that's what it is. And I'm explaining it just like yesterday in my video. If my main idea is wrong, here's what you will see, and here's what to put on your chart. I'm doing the same thing right now, trying to be as helpful as possible. And again, this is not my top three most probable scenario yet, but it is brewing. All right, because that chart over there, it's fairly compelling right now. Crypto is doing well versus the stock market. So here's that chart right here again. I mean, this isn't looking bad. All right. And for my Discord and YouTube Cryptillion tiers, I gave you the formula to make that same chart as well. And you could just YouTube tier members, you could ask me in a comment section to repost it if you want it, so it's fresher up there. Or Discord members, just jump on a live call, ask me what it is, and we'll rock and roll from there. But if you're savvy with Tradingview, then you can obviously see how I did it just from looking at the video. Okay, so what will that look like on Bitcoin? If the stock market doesn't have an aggressive, or no, if the stock market does not have an aggressive sell-off, I mean, this week, I think Bitcoin could easily take another swipe above the micro channel. And remember what that looks like zoomed out? It's the 57-day long deal, right? So see, a couple times. So yeah, like this. I don't think it's going to be this big, right? that was a big bull trap, but something to this effect. So let's measure up. I mean, how? So they between about 3% above. So let's go back to the 15-minute chart. Put on my EMAs. Let's say it does it sometime over here. I don't know. So 3% above. That's breaking 20K. That's 20,200. It could happen. And again, and a way to kind of alert yourself with that is the following: just look at the SP 500 futures, and if you do not see aggressive lows, right, on this, you could see new local lows, but as long as they're not aggressive, then what I'm about to show you, like what I just showed you, could easily play out. 20,200 could easily happen before next Tuesday. So I would say what I just showed you on the Bitcoin chart on that ascending range, I would say that's over the next 4 days. Yeah, through the weekend. And then a lot of times the stock market, even if it's going to sell off all week, a lot of times buyers really want to buy on Mondays, even though the stock market's going to be down. So that's why I like to say Tuesday a lot for bearish movements, because Monday, my read on the stock market is even if shit's bearish, people just want to come out swinging, buying. Like they just want green candles on Mondays. That's what I see a bunch. All right, so yeah, Bitcoin could easily get up there without the stock market going up by Tuesday. And if the stock market goes up and that chart is still bullish versus the stock market, well, then Bitcoin's going to get above that channel, use it as support, and then be heading. And then I'll make another YouTube video saying, shit, this $22,000 or slightly higher, I'll give you more targets, is in my top 3. Right now, it's not. All right. And the 20,200 target is a land in between, right? Just target up here. But I want you to know that, especially since I've been asking you to draw this channel, please, realize that this wicks above here happen. Okay, and it could go this high, even if Bitcoin price is relatively being guided or massaged or directed by this channel. This is in play within the channel rules. Okay, a 2% wick above a channel is perfectly normal. And again, the reason I'm trying to go over this, like the areas of my main idea of being bearish is wrong, is because I have been very bearish, and I don't want to guide you incorrect. I need you to be prepared for a wick up, or prepared for it just to turn around in our faces. All right. But overall, I am still pretty bearish, but I've been giving down targets so long, and you kind of know my thoughts already. That I don't think I have to go over this. So today on Bitcoin, I'm showing you if you're bearish, then these are the things to be cautious about. If you're bullish, then what I'm saying right now, I don't know if I would take significant long plays off of this, because I would be fearful that the trend resumes down. Like a big sell-off on Friday could easily happen. But there's a lot of reasons, even though I'm showing you reasons why it could get short-term time frame bullish, you still have if you're a short-term time frame bull, you have a lot of reasons to be scared. Like the stock market's hanging on a cliff. It could really have a nasty sell-off on Friday. It could be bad. And Bitcoin would probably go down to, it could be as low as 17K tomorrow, which is the bottom of this channel. So in general terms, whether you're bullish or bearish, there's a lot of, so this down here would be about 17K. See that? So regardless of being a bull or a bear or long or short right now, there is reason to be fearful in the market. And there's only one type of position where you don't really need fear in the market, is if you're flat, if you're stable. So cash position, like holding cash, or stable, being stable is a good position. And right now, honestly, it's probably a pretty good choice until we see some follow through with the stock market. Yeah. And another way to say that is, no trade is often the best trade. The way the market's moving right now, it really might be. I'm trading moderately lightly, so I'm not going for any doubles or triples right now. I'm just trying to hit some singles. So I haven't stopped trading, but I am only going for singles very consciously in terms of my position size and when I'm profit taking, all that kind of stuff. How big of a move I'm looking for. I'm mostly going for singles. So I don't want to not practice what I preach, but I'm almost there. I'm only trying to hit singles right now, but also no position is a great position. Or if you're going on vacation and you're not available this weekend, this is a great time not to be pissing around with the charts, with the exception of a big sell-off on Friday. And that's what I got for Bitcoin. I kept it at about 20 minutes. All right, not bad.